Hey friends, so glad to have you back with me here. I'm Peggy Hall, and we are talking about telling yourself the truth. This came to mind because some of my lovely subscribers were asking me about making decisions. And it dawned on me that very often we can have difficulty making decisions because we don't want to tell ourselves the truth. This happens in cases where we are doing people pleasing and we want to make someone else happy. We want to make a decision based on what we think they want or they would like. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's not at your own expense. I came up with, let's see, one, two, three, four reasons why I think we don't tell ourselves the truth. And then I want to give you a little exercise and an example in truth telling and why it's actually an easier way to live, and it can help open your door to your future. So I think number one reason why often we don't tell ourselves the truth about a situation or about a decision or about a preference or about a goal or a dream that we have is number one is we don't actually know. We don't actually know what that is for us. We don't know what it is that we want to do or what we want to buy or maybe where we want to go or what we want to order for a lunch. Let me give you an example. And this actually goes along with number two of why people don't tell the truth to themselves. And that's because they don't think it matters. So here's an example of a woman that I was helping be free and quit fighting with food because she would find that she would try to be so strict with her food that when she would go out to eat, rather than order something that she really wanted to enjoy, or that something that looked good on the menu and something that she thought would satisfy her, she actually wouldn't tell herself the truth about what she wanted to order. She would think that it wouldn't matter. And instead, she would go along with what someone else was ordering, or she didn't want to embarrass herself. So she saw on the menu that there was this delicious item of a homemade lasagna, and she loved lasagna, but she thought, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm heavier than I want to be. And this person that I'm eating with is going to think that I'm have no control and I have no self-discipline if I order this big lasagna meal. And instead, she ended up ordering like a chicken salad. I think that was what her friend was ordering. So she wasn't telling herself the truth about what she wanted to eat, what she wanted to order. And it started veering into that strange place of people pleasing, where she cared more about what her friend thought about what she was going to order rather than honoring her own desire and preference, rather than telling herself the truth about what she really wanted. And I know I'm using a simple example, which might seem rather insignificant, but I'm doing that on purpose to kind of take the emotion out of it so that when we are faced with other decisions and choices like, do I want to move? Do I want to sell my house? Do I want to buy a new car? Do I like this relationship? Do I want to leave? Do I want to get a new animal? Fill in the blank with what it is you might be facing. When we're looking at something that's a little bit more mundane, like what you're ordering for lunch, it can help drive the concept home. So what happened with this woman is that she ordered the chicken salad. She didn't really even enjoy it. And then she started obsessing over this lasagna meal. And she concluded the lunch, said goodbye to her friend. She drove home and she actually drove back to that restaurant. She ordered that lasagna meal to go and she ate it. And she kind of ate it with a sense of guilt, like, oh, I can't believe I'm eating this. I already had lunch. And kind of double guessing or second guessing herself, like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just honor my truth? Why didn't I tell myself the truth about what I wanted to eat? My friend doesn't care, and your friend doesn't care, frankly, what you order at the lunch. You should order what you want, what your preference is, what your desire is, and start in these simple ways of telling yourself the truth in these more I would say mundane situations where they're not really life and death. So that situation is more along the lines of she didn't think that her truth really mattered there. She was going to set it aside. She would be embarrassed if she was going to eat that lasagna in front of somebody. And it backfired on her because she knew that she wasn't being truthful with herself. So in that case, it's kind of a combination of, did she really know what she wanted to order? Was she telling herself the truth? And I always recommend having your journal, having a journal and a pen, and just having a free flowing opportunity to ask yourself some of these questions. What is it that I really want? What is it that I want surrounding me? What is it that I want to wear? What is it that I want to look like? Who is it that I want to spend time with? How is it that I want to spend my time? Where is it that I want to go? How much money is it that I want to spend? How much money do I want to save? Do I really want to talk to that person or not? Start telling yourself the truth about these situations. And I'm telling you, it is life-changing. It is just a burden off your shoulders when you can start to be true to you. The next one is, I think some people don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know the truth about themselves. They don't want to know the truth about their desires, their dreams, their goals, because if they don't have a dream or a goal that is clearly defined in their mind, then they can let themselves off the hook if they don't achieve that goal because they've never really set that goal. And I know that for some people, setting a goal can be very daunting and it can put pressure on you, but there are different ways of going about that. I've got videos on this channel where I talk about doing your goals in very tiny incremental steps. And then I have the exact opposite where I recommend that you go bold and you just take some giant steps that are very exciting and thrilling, and it doesn't have to cost you a dime. You can do all of these things in a very low risk effort. So I will see if I can put a link for those for you in the description box below. It's very important to know what your truth is. And I'm not talking about, the universal truths that don't change, like there are two genders and there are 24 hours in a day. I mean, we were created by God for a purpose. There are timeless truths. I'm talking about something that is important for you, that you might be not telling yourself the truth about that. You may say, oh, it doesn't really matter. Oh, it doesn't really matter that my friend is always making jokes at my expense. Well, I think it does matter. Is that really true? Do you really believe that? These are the conversations I want you to have with yourself with a pen and paper. Things that have been bothering you, things that have been irritating you, areas in your life where you feel like you just can't get traction. I want you to have these truthful conversations with yourself, and just nobody has to read this. This is an opportunity for you to start to get to the truth of the matter. I think the number 4 reason why we don't tell ourselves the truth about certain things in our life is that we wish that things were different. And we don't know if we can change those things. And because it might be very painful to look at these things, we just don't want to know the truth of the matter. Think about a situation that might be a lot heavier than just what you're going to order for lunch. I have an extended family member who is facing some health situations. And I believe that this lovely individual does not want to face the truth of what's going on in her life because she wishes that it were different, but she doesn't want to change it. So think about situations, and maybe even for yourself, where you may have some health habits or habits that are harming your health. Perhaps you are smoking or over drinking or indulging in junk food at a rate that's not healthy for you. Maybe you're skimping on your sleep. Maybe you are, I've been saying that phrase lately for some reason, I don't know why, but think of an example in your life where you can fill in the blank with what it is that you would like to be doing differently, but you just haven't told yourself the truth about the situation. So perhaps I'm going to use myself as an example. I've been snacking more frequently than I like. And the reason why I say more frequently than I like is because I know that I'm doing it under stressful conditions. I know that when I sit down at the computer and I'm bombarded with all of these headlines that a lot of my Healthy Americans from my other channel are sending me, I can feel overwhelmed. Where do I begin? How can I break this down? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? And I realize that I am turning to a snack to distract myself from these heavy issues at hand. So I need to tell myself the truth about this. I'm not really hungry. That's true. I am eating as a way to distract myself. That is true. And I actually am not enjoying it because I don't like to eat when I'm sitting in front of the computer and being distracted. That's another truth. So these truths can be very helpful. They don't need to be painful. It may be a situation where you may need to get help, a supportive friend, or maybe support from a professional to help you face these truths in your life, to actually, number one, find out what they are, because that's how I started the show, was people don't know maybe what the truth is about their situation. They may be feeling uncomfortable, awkward, unsettled. And if you take time to uncover what that is, you can tell yourself the truth. The other one I had is, you may think that what you want doesn't matter. What you want does matter. You may find that you're in a relationship, maybe it's even with a parent or a sibling or a cousin or a coworker, maybe even a spouse or a child, and you may find that these are awkward. I've talked about dealing with difficult people on this channel before, but perhaps there is a truth in that relationship that you are not facing, and you think that your truth is not important, that what they want and their preferences and their choices and their desires are more important than yours. I want you to start telling yourself the truth in this situation. And I am here for you. I would love to hear in a comment what some of those truths are that you may have been sweeping under the carpet. Just as a review, the third thing was that you don't want to know what these truths are. You may feel that it's too late. You don't have the resources to do it. You would rather just live with all of that in the past. You don't really want to face it. If you are suffering with physical, mental, emotional, spiritual maladies, I promise you that leaving those things behind and not uncovering them could be causing you more harm. So I would really encourage you to journal about what may be buried that you want to bring to the forefront, and have the courage and the gumption to tell yourself those truths. And then the final one, to summarize, is that you wish that things were different. Friends, it's never too late to make a change. And you can start by telling yourself the truth. When you are going to be making a decision, I want you to be truthful with yourself about what you would like to see. I know that we rarely make decisions on our own, unless you are in a situation where you live by yourself and there is nobody that is dependent on you, and that your decisions have no impact on anyone else. Most people, your decision will have an impact on someone else, whether it's what kind of car to buy, if you're going to change your look, if you're going to leave your job or get a different job, if you're going to spend money. Most of these decisions do have an impact on someone else. But I want you to start with your truth, with your desires, with your preferences, and let that be spoken, so that when you're thinking about making these decisions, you're not leaving your truth buried. This is a way that you can avoid regrets in the future. I've done videos before about regrets, and we can learn from them. So I hope that you will enjoy that as well. Let me know if you have come face to face with the truth in your life recently, if there is something that you feel has been buried that you want to uncover, and let me know how I can support you on your journey. It's always great to have you here, friends. I'm here every week, and I'm so grateful that you're on board, because we are going to be finding smoother sailing and brighter days ahead. I know they're out there.